To take a pose is in itself a temporary state that needs the act of releasing to be able to formulate or form the next pose. You need a rest, at least to release the joints. The act between the two poses, that uncertain moment of contemplation, captures my full attention. To get out of any kind of static mechanism and frozen poses and rethink our position seems to be an important part of thinking further about our societies in general. So the whole idea of the poses and releasing the poses is actually to re-question every time our position and not to get stiff. Witnessing how quickly our constructed stability can implode. I couldn't avoid talking about this because the whole idea of collapsing joints comes to the point of our daily life right now. As I was very young, I was driven by dance and I learned a lot from Eva Marina. And remembering her saying even the simple gesture that she did in her dance pieces, and they were almost very close to our daily gestures, like bodily gestures. She says it's the heaviness of it and the preciseness of it. It's so difficult that you need always to break it down. But the breakness of a pose, it goes with the pose itself. So you almost sometimes don't even see that something needs a rest, and other times there's a radical break. Maybe it's closer to the idea of some other works that I have done that deal with the question of looking at something and feel pity for it. You feel, how could I close my eyes to give this piece a rest? That moment of resting and taking the pressure out, I was triggered to understand if it could happen through the making and sculpture. Can I formulate this question within the sculpture itself? I have a very classical way of working, a traditional way of thinking of materials to get the sense of the politics of the material, the shape. So I have to be very close. I have to understand it. Looking at a piece of marble, it already creates so many questions and so many memories, and the burden of it is already embedded in the material itself. And marble historically per se has the connotation of stability and is the perfect material for sculpture with a big promise of durability. Trying to transfer the figurative acts of the marble sculptures into an abstraction, I was thinking of the combination of materials. One is the chiseled marble with the casted and polished stainless steel connectors, functioning as double protheses to try to understand the inner core of the sculpture. Meeting at the quarry in Carrara with the wonderful elder quarryman was really inspiring. He remembers almost every artist who came and worked with the marble in that area. And what was amazing, he explains how he reads the mountains and senses the fragility of the marble. And it was not only through the veins, it's more that he looks at the mountains and he can tell which part of the mountain is more fragile. Spending some time in the quarry, I witnessed then that mostly the surfaces of the marble sculptures right now get perfectly polished or have the traces of the computer effect. And I decided on site to interrupt this perfectionism and tried a method of injury to the surface of the sculpture body just to be confronted with a certain vulnerability, and most importantly with the implicated, in German you say Phantomschmerz, phantom pain. There is a pain in that material that I couldn't avoid to sense it as I was there. How things have been moved and you can't replace it. There is nothing that you could feel. There is no earth, there is nothing. I thought it's beautiful to know that the missing part is missing. The potential of the beauty of art shouldn't make us feel to save what we do. That the viewer could feel well in my surrounding, within my proposed exhibition space. I'm always afraid of it because I think including someone with love and holding and hugging, there is a kind of misuse as well. questioning and putting things upside down. It's the fear of not getting too sure what I'm doing, too safe what I'm doing. The sculpture should have the chance to not fulfill the expectations.